Hello everyone. Today I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit personal. Well, anyway, stay tuned and find out. A member of our gardening channel, Monica Katie, has asked me to do a get to know me and how I started gardening. So I am just going to get to it. I have 9 questions to answer, and I will leave her information along with 3 or 4 other people's information below. So be sure to check them out. Number 1, did you have a garden growing up? Yes, we did. We had a very large vegetable garden. I have fond memories of my mother and grandmother canning together in the kitchen. They'd can tomatoes and they'd make jam. So it was a great experience for me. I would love to have a huge vegetable garden like that, but I just don't have the room for it. I will probably have maybe more container type vegetables for right now until I get my dream property. As early as I can remember though, I remember being out in my mom's front yard, which we just had a little grass, maybe a black walnut tree and a few rose shrubs. And I can remember going into my mom's yard and digging up, I think they're weeds, digging up the weeds and just transplanting them around the yard. And I did a lot of watering the grass. So that was fun. Number 2, where was your first garden and what did you grow? Well, my first garden was at my first house. And of course I had 3 children at the time. And you know, when you have 3 children, I didn't myself, and I worked. I didn't really have much time to really do a garden. I just did little sections of the garden and I would just put flowers or a few shrubs. That was it. That's how boring I was. Number 3, who taught me to garden? Well, I think it would be my mom and dad for vegetable gardening. And my father-in-law also, he had an amazing garden. But to flower garden, that would be me, myself, and I. I've made a lot of mistakes over the years. I've probably killed more plants than have survived. But you know, at least I'm learning. I think the hardest thing for me as a beginner is to get the shade, part sun thing down. So I think that's pretty much why I mostly leave my plants in their containers before actually setting them in the ground, so that I know I can just kind of move them around the yard a little bit to see where they do best. Number 4, why do I garden? It makes me happy. I love the creative part of gardening and how you make it look. I love the beauty of the garden, the flowers, the textures, the color. I garden because it makes me feel good. Number 5, when did you plant your current garden? Well, I've been at this house for about 20 years, and my first garden that I designed was the secret garden. And actually, I didn't plant any of that. I had a gardener come in and I pretty much said, this is what I want, and he did it. So I got out of a lot of the work. Well, actually, I got out of most of the work. So, and then I've just been working on probably the backyard and the garden up front for maybe the last 3 or 4 years. I've been really getting into it. 6, how do you decide what you're going to grow? Well, at first I would just go to one of the big box stores and I would pick out a plant that I thought was pretty. And this is where failure comes into play. I probably didn't pay attention to sun or part shade. I would just get it because it's pretty and I'm going to put that plant in that spot. And that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly why my plants died all the time. So I have gotten a little better over time. I now do a little bit of research on the type of plant that I want. Do I want a perennial talking shrubs. Do I want a perennial? Do I want it to be evergreen? So I do research now, and I search out that particular plant so that I know that it will work in my garden. Number 7, which plants, flowers, have brought you the most joy over this past year? I think my number 1 plant would be that white hummingbird salvia. That brought in so many hummingbirds, bees, butterflies. It was really a joy to look outside and see that whole area just moving with pollinators. A close second is my limelight hydrangeas. They look beautiful this year. They're still small. They're only like, 3 years old, and I've probably pulled them out of the ground twice already. Moving things around. Number 8, what are some garden tools that you can't live without? I cannot live without my shovel. I need my shovel because I use that a lot. I do a lot of digging, and I have to pick up a lot of poop. I know that's gross, but can't live without that. And I think my snips. I need my snips too. And last but not least, number 9, what elements are part of your dream garden? I would love to have an acre property. I'd love to have a beautiful cottage garden with a lot of pollinators, beautiful flowers, something that I can come out and enjoy on a daily basis. And the other part would be I would love to be able to grow a large vegetable garden and maybe start canning again. I would also like to have some animals, maybe some chickens and maybe some sheep. I don't know. I think I might want those things, but you never know, I might not. So go check out Monica Katie's channel. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. For a novice gardener, she has done a beautiful job on her garden. Also, I'd like to give Granny's Garden a special shout out because I followed her advice on one of her YouTube channels and went and bought a couple of bird feeders. Oh my God, these birds, when they discovered that there's food in these feeders, I have tons of little birds, blue jays. I don't even know what the names of them are, but tons of them in my garden. I love it. It's like my garden is moving. I would like to invite the following channels to join in on the fun: Jerry Odell, I Kill Pretty Things, and Brian Daniels of the Garden Canvas. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay safe out there, and please keep the United States in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.